Hi, I'm Mary from svgcuts.com. Thanks for visiting and welcome to the Mother's Day flower pot card tutorial. This is the card we're going to be making. It's super cool. I know my mom's going to love it. So let's get started. So let's talk about the paper requirements for this project. These are all listed in the PDF that you get with your download and on the blog post. But just to go over the colors, we've got an orange for some of the flowers. We've got a lighter orange, so there's two colors of orange, light orange and dark orange. There's a light yellow. There's a darker pink for the flowers. These are all for the flowers. And a lighter pink also for the flowers and for this nice banner with the Happy Mother's Day on it. And we've also got a green that goes in the back. You can see when you open the card that forms the whole entire card base that you glue the flowers on. And then for the envelope, I just picked a nice patterned paper that kind of coordinates with the whole card, so you can pick whatever you want. And then for the flower pot itself, I picked a nice terracotta patterned paper, but anything that looks like a cool clay pot is going to be just perfect, along with a tan color for the top of the flower pot. You can't really see it too much, but just something that looks like a pot is perfect. Now the last color I've got here is the white, and that goes on the inside so that you can write whatever you want and you can see it real well. Okay, so now for the supplies. This is what I've used to make this card. I've got my favorite glue here. Is this Scotch glue that's a quick dry adhesive, but you can use your favorite glue, whatever that might be. I've also got some 3D pop dots that I use to make some of these look a little more 3D. Now that's going to be optional, but it's obviously going to make it look a lot more 3D and a little cooler. So I like to use these 3D dots that are actually clear, so that if you look at the card from the side or from the top, you're not going to see anything. These also will work, these kind of pop dots. These are not my favorite. I like these better. But of course, whatever you want to use is going to be just fine. Now for curling the edges, which I'm going to show you soon, for curling the edges I use this tool here. It's actually, I'm not even sure what this is technically for. I just have a little stash of these in my craft room. And if you don't happen to have this on hand, you can also use just a simple toothpick, which you probably have somewhere. And if you don't have a toothpick, you can also just use your fingers. Also, I've got a scoring tool for when I score the card on the inside to fold it. And also for when I make the envelope. But if you don't have one of these, you can also just use a straight edge and just kind of press down on a straight edge, which I can show you later in the video when we get to that part. And finally, for the middles of some of the flowers, I just took my little stash here of different sticky little gemstones and put those on some of the flowers in the middle of them. Okay, so as far as assembly goes, I'm going to assume that you've already cut all of your pieces here out of your paper on your Cricut. If you're not familiar with cutting out pieces using SVG files and SCUT files, then you're going to want to go ahead and take a look at our graduation card tutorial that's on our blog that goes into detail about working with SVG files and SCUT files. But so now that I've got all of these cut out, I'm going to go ahead and start by scoring this card base here, this green piece. So normally I would use my scoring tool to score this, but just in case some of you don't have one of those, I'm going to do it using a ruler and this tool here that I've got. You can also use a bone folder to make this mark, or some kind of hard tool. So you just want to make a line down the center so that you get a nice clean fold when you go to fold it. Otherwise, you know how it is, it might be kind of just a little funky in there. So now that that's folded, make it flat again. And I'm going to glue this down. This is the inside part of the card so that you can write your message on it in case it's a little hard to see on the green with your ink. So I'm going to place that right in the center there. Okay. Alright, so that's the card base. Now this is the top and the bottom of my pot here. I'm gonna glue the top to the bottom. This is all pretty straightforward. You could probably guess this much without looking at this video, but we're gonna get to the flowers here in just a minute, which is a little bit trickier, you might think, but really once you see it's not tricky at all. So I'm just gonna glue this bottom part to the green card. And there we go. So, the next thing I'm gonna do is get this nice banner on here. I've got the top part and the bottom part. Just get this top part glued to the bottom. Make sure it lines up. And I'll leave these Happy Mother's Day words until the end. It's pretty obvious where they go here. So now this banner is just going to go right on the front here like this. So I'm going to put the glue just in the middle. Just like this. And now the envelope that comes with this, it gives a little extra room so that you don't have to worry about putting this banner perfectly in the middle. Just get it basically in the middle. It's going to be just fine. Okay, so as far as the flowers go, let's get started on curling the edges. Now I've got a lot of little different pieces here, and honestly it doesn't matter what order you glue them in. It doesn't have to match exactly to the photo that we've got of our cards that we made. Actually, we made a couple cards and some of them are different from each other anyway, so there's no set specific way that you have to do this. I'm just going to do it the way that looks the best to me. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking this yellow piece here, and I'm going to use this tool that I mentioned and just kind of curl it like this and just put it underneath and just sort of pull it off to just kind of give it a little curl. Now you could also just kind of bend it with your fingers, but it's not going to be as smooth as if you use the tool to do it. So I'm going to go around and do that to all the edges, like so. So I've got all those, and you can see how it's got a little 3D look to it now, which adds the coolness to the card. So I'm going to go around and do that to all of those. Now here, this is the second layer that goes on top of this. I'm going to do the same thing. It doesn't have to be too scientific or perfect, just do that. And then the next layer that I like on there is this itty bitty little yellow piece. It's very hard to pick up. I'm going to put that right there.